Hey, it's James here from eBassGuitar. In today's lesson, I'm going to show you the 5 simplest walking bass formulas so you know exactly where to start with this incredible style of bass playing. I'll see you inside the lesson. Hey, it's James here from eBassGuitar. Now, for the best part of 15 years or so, I've been saying to students, if you want to improve every single aspect of your bass guitar playing, make sure you learn walking bass. Whether you want to be an incredible jazz player like Ray Brown or Paul Chambers, whether you want to play incredible Motown style grooves like Jameson or Duck Dunn, whether you want to play new soul like Pino Palladino with D'Angelo, or whether you want to play incredible slap grooves like Marcus Miller, it all comes back to one thing: having great harmonic knowledge and knowledge of the fretboard. And the greatest or the best way to learn that, in my opinion, is to learn walking bass. So today I'm going to take you through 5 really simple walking bass formulas. But first off, walking bass was born on the double bass originally. So I'd love to ask you guys a question. Would you like to play the double bass, or do you already play the double bass? I'd be super interested to find out. Please let me know in the comments below. Also, the double bass has so many names for it. The stand-up bass, the contrabass, the upright bass, the steam bass. There are so many more. Let me know in the comments below which one you use, just to be totally clear. Also, there is a completely free PDF which comes with this lesson. So if you want to see everything we're discussing today written out in standard notation and tab, make sure you click the link which is in the description below. So to show you these 5 walking bass concepts, we're going to use an incredibly foundational chord sequence, which is these particular chords. It is a C minor 7, like so, an F7, and then a B flat major 7 like so. And then on the end here, we are going to place a G7 chord like that. Now, if you're into your music theory or your harmony, you might know this as a 2-5-1 chord sequence. Then on the end, we're going to put what is technically known as a secondary dominant. So this is the 6th chord here. And what the 6th chord does is it takes us back round to the beginning. Typically, if you're really super into your theory, you'd expect that to be a minor chord. But if we make it a 7th, it works perfectly to take us back to this C minor. But anyway, this concept, the 2-5-1, is absolutely pivotal in so many styles of music, particularly jazz and walking bass. So getting to know how it works is super important. Now, there's one overarching formula which we're going to use in the whole of this lesson, which is the key to making it sound musical. Because any formula can sound like an exercise in isolation, but when you put this to it, it really sounds great. So what we're going to do on the first bar is we are always going to go up, we are going to ascend, and on the second bar, we're going to descend, and then on the third bar, we're going to ascend, and then we're going to descend here. And this is what's going to put the shape into the music. So let me show you how this works to begin with. So the first formula we're going to look at here is we're just simply going to use root notes and octaves. This is a super simple, great place to start. So let me show you the first bass line here. So all we're going to do is we're going to start on a C minor. That's the C here, and we're going to play 2 Cs. And then we're going to jump to the octave C on the G string like that. So that's our first bar. Then we're going to go to the F there. And now, in the interest of going descending, we're going to play the high octave F here. And then we're going to go to the low octave F here, like so. So this is our first 2 bars. And then the second 2 bars. To the third bar, we are going to ascend. So we're going to play the B flat there. We're going to go to the B flat up there. And then to the G7 here, we're going to play the high G there, and going to go to the low G7 like that. So we end up with a pattern that sounds like this. already a great simple sounding walking bass line which is 100% real world. So let me here play it with a backing track so you can hear it in context. So the next walking bass formula we're going to look at is what's called roots and fifths, and this is super powerful. So let's take this apart step by step. We're looking to find the fifth of each particular chord. So all we need to do is go up 5 notes or 5 letter names from the root of each chord. But there is an easier way to do that because the shape falls really nicely under the hand. So this is the easiest way to look at it. So just go down 1 string and 2 frets along. So the C is going to be there and the G, which is our fifth, is going to be there. So we're going to just 2 notes on each chord to begin with, but we're going to keep this shape of up, down, going on to keep the musicality in there. So we're going to get the F there, and we can also get the lower fifth here by just simply a string down there. So we're going to play like that. So the first 2 bars are simply going to be this, and then the B flat major 7. The fifth there, using that fifth shape, like so, and then we're going to go to the G7 chord here, and we're going to catch the lower fifth there. So we're going to end up with this bass line. So you can really hear that musical shape in there. Don't forget, if you want to study this stuff right from the ground upwards, make sure you check out my essential walking bass course over at eBassGuitar.com, because that will show you everything you need from playing your very first notes of walking bass all the way through to playing a full jazz standard. But anyway, this really is one of the best walking bass formulas, and you can start using it today. So let's hear what this sounds like with the backing track. Now let's look at the next walking bass formula. This is simply what is called using triads. Now triads are simply the root, the third and the fifth of each respective chord, like that. So I'm going to take this apart one by one, but don't forget all of this is written out in the free PDF which comes with the lesson. Link in the description below. So let's take this apart step by step. So the C minor 7 is going to be a C, an E flat, a G like that, and then we're going to go back to the E flat like that. So we fill out each of the 4 beats. So that's the triad ascending. Now for the F, and to keep this shape going on of descending, we're actually going to descend down the F major triad. If you're a little bit confused by this, just do it ascending to begin with. But this is what puts the musicality and the interest into the bass line. So what we're going to go is we're going to play the F like that, then we're going to get the fifth below it like that, and then we're going to drop down to the A there, which is the third of each chord, and then back up to the fifth. So we end up with this line, like that. So let's do it again. Like that, and then we're going to go up the B flat major 7, or B flat triad, which is going to be B flat, a D, an F, and back to the D, like so. And then we're going to go up to the G7, like that. We're going to go descending this time, so it's going to be G, D, B flat, D, like that. So we're going to end up with this bass line here. Fantastic sounding walking bass line which perfectly outlines that harmony there. So let's try it with the backing track. So guys, don't forget, if you're enjoying this lesson, please make sure you subscribe to the eBassGuitar YouTube channel. There's a red button somewhere around this video, and what this means is you'll be the first to know when a new lesson goes live, because we make a new video every single week designed especially for the beginner to intermediate bass guitar player. So make sure you hit the red button, which is somewhere around the screen, and the bell icon too, and you'll be the first to know when it hits the airwaves. Now for formula number 4, we are going to use arpeggios. And now this is arpeggios, I can never spell it. And this is an extension of the triad. So what we're going to do in each bass line is we're going to use the root, the third, the fifth, and the 7th. So let me take you through what that looks like for each bass line like this. So let's start off with the C minor 7 arpeggio. So that's going to be a C, an E flat, a G, and a B flat like so. Get that shape starting on your first finger under your hand, and you'll have the shape for all minor 7 arpeggios ready. So C, E flat, G, and B flat like so. And then we're going to go to the F7, so we're going to descend this time. So we're going to get the F, 3rd fret D string, we're going to go to the E flat, the C, and the open A like that. Like that, so C minor 7. Like so, to the B flat major 7, which is going to be B flat, D, F, and an A like that. Like so. And then to the G7, so we're going to get the G at the 5th fret on the D string, so G, F, D, B flat, like that. Like so. So C minor 7. Great sounding walking bass line. So let's put that with the backing track so you can hear it in action. Now for our final walking bass formula today, we are going to look at using scales. This one is just a touch more tricky. So we're going to break this into 2 individual formulas, or sub-formulas rather, one for ascending, one for descending. So ascending, we're going to do the root, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. And then for descending, we're going to use what's called the 8, the octave, 7, 6, 5. So just descending down the scale. So let me show you how this works in action. So to start on the C minor 7, we're going to go root, 2nd, flat 3rd, and 5th. Okay, first 3 notes of the minor scale, and then the 5th like that. This is a really common formula which sounds really great. And then we're just going to come down an F7 scale, which is simply going to be an F, an E flat, a D, and a C like that. So first 2 bars sound like this. And then we're going to use the root, 2nd, 3rd, 5th formula for the B major 7, which is going to be B, which is simply going to be B flat, C, open D and F like that. And then directly just down a G7 scale. So we're going to go G, F, E, C like that. So we end up with this bass line. Like so. So let's try that with the backing track so you can hear it in action. Now to wrap up this lesson, I want to plant one more very simple concept in your mind. Now these are each formulas, and if you repeat them over and over again, it becomes a little bit clinical. And what we want with walking bass lines is that they start to sound improvised. And this is where the real gold is. So what you can start to do is take little snippets or single bars or maybe 2 bars of each formula and start to mix and match. So what I suggest you do is download the PDF which comes with this and take a bar of each one and see if you can create, I don't know, 5 to 10 new bass lines from this, because there's so much just within these 5 simple walking bass formulas. So what I'm going to do to finish off this lesson right now is I'm going to improvise, but just using these formulas, and you can start to hear the variations that you can naturally make within this. Guys, that's the end of today's bass guitar lesson. If you enjoyed it, make sure you download that free PDF so you can see everything we've discussed today written out in standard notation and tab. Also, if you want to supercharge and learn walking bass right from the ground upwards, make sure you check out my Essential Walking Bass course over at eBassGuitar, which you can test drive completely free for 14 days as part of Bass Lab Plus a membership. So make sure you jump over to eBassGuitar and check that out. There's a link in the description below where you can join free for 14 days today. Cheers, I've been James from eBassGuitar.com. Catch you next time.